Seattle's housing market is feeling the effects of a shifting economy. Real estate agent Brooke Davis is here with a look at what all of this means for Seattle area buyers and sellers right now. Hello, Brooke.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, so it's spring. Everyone's thinking about, buying and getting out in the world. So what are you seeing in Seattle's housing market?
It's a pretty busy market out there, and especially compared to the fall and the early winter market that was a little bit slower, people are out. However, we're still seeing the tale of many markets. So the market is hyper-local. An example of this means maybe a house in Green Lake would have multiple offers, could be a bidding war, but a condo or a townhome in that same location may take several weeks or a couple months to sell.
And with rates jumping around too, how is that changing the way that buyers really move?
Great question. We're seeing a lot of variability in the market, and so every week might be a little bit different from the last week. The good news is that overall interest rates are lower than they were last spring.
And are there opportunities buyers might be missing in this cool down?
Condos and townhomes.
Oh, okay, very nice. And what are homes actually selling for right now compared to the listing? Because you say there's some bidding wars going on.
Certainly. So we're seeing a little bit of everything. One opportunity for buyers out there, maybe some sellers are still pricing their house on the high side, and those are great opportunities to negotiate both price and terms. However, we are still seeing, some bidding wars. If I had to outline opportunities, the condos and townhomes again.
Okay, if you're single home or maybe looking actually right now is the right time to buy for condos and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would argue now is a great time to buy, for any type of property that you're looking for, because we do have more homes for sale and interest rates are a little bit lower than last year at this time.
What's key to getting top dollar in today's market if you're in that selling market?
Price and presentation. You still want to make sure that your house looks really good, and you want to make sure that you've taken care of fixes, deferred maintenance. Keep in mind that buyers are going to be particular. They're going to look at all of the details of the house, so you want to make sure that you have taken time and gotten it ready to hit the market.
Yeah, and what do you mean by getting it ready to hit the market? Because some people think that maybe they don't need someone to help put a presentation together. So what would be your recommendations with that?
Well, you've got one opportunity to launch and make that big splash when you hit the market. So you want to put your best foot forward. So that means a series of different events to get it ready. Everything from, it might be painting, it might be cleaning, it might be staging the home, it may be making repairs and taking care of that punch list. So there's a series of different events that you would want to take care of to really make sure your home makes a splash when it hits the market.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little different than a couple years ago when, it's like, oh, just buy it as is, don't worry about it. They're waiving certain things. And then now it's a little more about presentation and being picky. Am I hearing that correct?
Absolutely, yes. Buyers are going to be a little more particular. They're going to pay attention to the age of the roof, the age of the furnace, the age of the different systems within the house. So when you prepare your house for sale, you want to pay attention to those details and see if there's any adjustments and updates that you can make prior to hitting the market so that you can have the best outcome possible.
Definitely. And I want to talk too about the hottest neighborhoods right now. This is always so interesting to me. So what are you seeing?
This is a fun one. Right now, Finney Ridge really feels like that hot spot in Seattle, and it's a great combination of a convenient location for commuting, getting to I-5 and 99, great restaurants, and it's also right next to Green Lake, and everyone loves Green Lake.
Absolutely. Do you have any other neighborhoods that you think might be coming on the map a little bit? I have friends in Beacon Hill. What else?
That's a great question. Gosh, Beacon Hill is an area that's got
up and coming.
Absolutely. There's some areas north of downtown, just outside of Greenwood is really popular. It's probably already arrived, but as you go a little bit further north and you get to these spots where light rail has arrived,
yes,
those are the areas where we're starting to see more demand. So I would expect that we'll see more change in those neighborhoods in the near future.
Yeah, and do you focus mostly in Seattle proper? Are you like east side too, Bellevue? Where are you mostly focused?
I started out in Seattle, and I do have a focus there, but I work through referrals, so I followed my clients to a lot of different neighborhoods, so I'm able to really get around.
Amazing. It's good for people to know. And I must know what your best advice is for first-time buyers. This is always a question I feel like I get a lot.
Yes, and I think I've given this answer before.
Do it again, Brooke.
So the right time to buy a house is when it fits your life and you fall in love with a home. It's really hard to time the market. It has to be right for you.
Okay, any last tips to just what people should know as we're moving into, spring, summer months? Is there any last tips that you want to give?
Well, back to the first-time home buyer for a minute, it's also good to align yourself with a real estate broker, get to know the inventory, and just have a little bit of patience. Even though we're in that spring market, sometimes finding the right home, it really does just take a little bit of time, effort, and energy.
Okay, be patient. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on again.